What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more fighting. So it looks like Cris Cyborg calls out UFC superstar Ronda Rousey yet again. So she took to her social media and posted this comic with the speech bubble and Ronda Rousey's picture, and it says, "I can beat Floyd, Kane, or any man in the world. Why won't you fight Cris Cyborg? I'm the champion. She has to drop weight to face me." So Cyborg got a good laugh from that. And to give you guys a backstory, if you haven't been following it, these two have had an ongoing war of words in the media, and there's been a beef. There's a lot of people that think Ronda Rousey is ducking Cris Cyborg. There are a lot of people, including myself, who believe that Cris Cyborg is the biggest test for Ronda Rousey. And the reason I believe it is Cris Cyborg is big and strong, and she's a powerful striker. So Ronda Rousey, she's a master at judo. She does a little hip toss to get you on the ground. It's a wrap with the armbar. You know what I mean? Not many people have a great defense for that. She's very technically and fundamentally sound, and that's what she does. However, I feel Cris Cyborg would make it a stand-up game, and her being so strong and a powerful striker, that could make things interesting. So I would really love to see it. But the thing is, Cris Cyborg, like I said, she's big. She's been fighting at 145 in Invicta. I heard in March she recently signed to UFC, and that's where Ronda Rousey resides, and she's campaigning at 135. So Ronda Rousey has been on record. She's called her a cheater, a steroid user, and also said if she wants to fight, she has to drop 10 pounds and fight her at 135. So it's kind of funny. I did a video about Ronda Rousey taking a jab at Mayweather. Make sure you check that out if you haven't heard. She was on the red carpet at the ESPYs, took a shot at Mayweather, says, "How does it feel to get beat by a woman," more or less. And it's funny because she's also made statements in the public, and a lot of people say, yeah, that's what he gets. Mayweather's a woman beater, and then they're anti-domestic violence. But those same people will leave comments like, Ronda Rousey will whoop Mayweather. So which one is it? Do you condone the opposite sex fighting each other or hitting each other or not? And then the other thing with Ronda Rousey is funny because Mayweather is at 147, and there's been interviews she's done where she said she will beat him. So that's what Cris Cyborg is kind of alluding to. Like, you're willing to fight grown men and you fight these men, and you want me to drop down and wait to fight you. So kind of contradictory in that regard. So Ronda Rousey has called Cris Cyborg a cheat and a steroid user. Cris Cyborg currently maintains that she's clean, and she has been fighting. She did get busted, and her fight was ruled a no contest after because she tested positive for stanozol. Another name is Winstrol, and it's an anabolic steroid. A lot of people use it to maintain that vascular, pumped, hardened muscle look. It's good for lean muscle mass and the presentation. Like, you can look at somebody and see how vascular they look, and they have that good pump. It's a type of steroid that's commonly used for cutting. Like, if people are cutting weight and stuff like that, and they want to maintain their strength and the muscle mass, but in a lean way, they use Winstrol as a cutting steroid. There's several different types of steroids, and they're not all geared at the same thing. Basic concept, but there's different uses for different steroids. So that's the deal. She says she's clean. She's been fighting, and me personally, I just want to see these two fight. I think it's a good fight. It's a meaningful fight. And again, Ronda Rousey just got the ESPN ESPY for Fighter of the Year. So people want to see her tested. And unfortunately, it's limited in the world of women's MMA. The competition is limited. You have like a star like Ronda Rousey who's just so good where it's hard to find people to beat her at her own game or to test her, right? So I think that's where Cris Cyborg could step in. And if Ronda Rousey is able to submit her or beat her, that's a huge win, because Cris Cyborg, we all know, is powerful, a good striker, as I said earlier in the video. Other thing you got to look at is Gina Carano got knocked out, TKO'd by Cris Cyborg years ago. And to me, Gina Carano was the Ronda Rousey before Ronda Rousey. She was the marketable women's mixed martial artist who was in magazine spreads and movies and different stuff like that. And they were really pumping her because she was kind of eye candy as well as a good fighter. And then she stepped in the ring with Cris Cyborg. So years later, the quote-unquote Gina Carano, so the Gina Carano 2.0 is Ronda Rousey. You know what I mean? Probably more skilled, but she's being pumped the same way, developing a fan base and stuff. So it'd be interesting for that reason for me too, to see exactly how Ronda Rousey would deal with someone who's clearly bigger. The biggest thing is the weight. I think they're coming both going to be with UFC. It's going to boil down to the weight. If Ronda Rousey is willing to budge as champion, or if Cris Cyborg can make 135 in a healthy fashion. You guys let me know what you think of the call out. Who would win if these two were to ever step foot in the octagon? Make sure you like my video. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.